Today we go over Star Wars Episode 9, the final film of the sequel trilogy by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, these past couple of weeks, we've been hearing a whole lot more about the final film of this trilogy. In fact, principal photography actually just started a couple of days ago, and they're starting over in Cardington within the UK, the same exact location that they used for both Rogue One and, of course, Star Wars A New Hope for the Yavin 4 Great Temple base. Now, looking past all of this, we've been hearing all of these different concept art descriptions, things that are happening behind the scenes over at Disney and Lucasfilm on changing Episode 9 quite possibly in response to The Last Jedi Backlash, one of which has all to do with George Lucas, and that George Lucas may help with Star Wars Episode 9 by lending advice and different ideas to J.J. Abrams, kind of like what he did with Solo: A Star Wars Story and director Ron Howard. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but George Lucas had a very small part in Solo: A Star Wars Story in lending Ron Howard a hand. However, apparently George Lucas will be lending some advice to J.J. Abrams and giving some ideas to the director for Star Wars Episode 9 and how certain things should happen in the movie and how J.J. Abrams should treat certain scenes and sequences in the movie. Now, I'm not quite sure how significant George Lucas's advice and how significant his help will be for Episode 9, but regardless, if this is actually to be true for Star Wars Episode 9, this is actually very exciting to hear that George Lucas will be involved with Star Wars Episode 9 in some way, shape, or form. Now, to me, guys, if you had to ask me, I think that one of the big ideas that George Lucas should use and lend over to J.J. Abrams and give over to J.J. Abrams is the whole entire concept of the wills. Because I don't know about you guys, but it seems like that Luke Skywalker in the first teaser trailer for The Last Jedi, when he says it's so much bigger, right then and there, it seems like it was trying to reach out to the idea of the whole entire, concept of the wills that George Lucas created and that the Clone Wars actually harnessed. And I think that when we're looking at Star Wars The Last Jedi, all those different voices that we do hear outside of the tree library and even inside of the cave, when Rey is actually exploring the depths of the cave and exploring her inner self, and we hear all these different voices saying Rey and the Jedi Code, I think those are indeed the wills. After all, the wills have female voices, and that's what we are indeed hearing in both The Force Awakens and in The Last Jedi, and without a doubt we're going to hear them again in Star Wars Episode 9. But to me, I think that we need some form of explanation as to exactly whose voices, are these? Like, the voices of, The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, exactly what are they? I think that they are the wills, and I think that that actually has to be explained, and that's exactly the type of advice that George Lucas should hand over to J.J. Abrams, is to take that entire concept and what we are hearing in The Force Awakens and in The Last Jedi, and have J.J. Abrams execute it visually, that those are indeed the wills. Now, to me, the wills would be a perfect thing to use in Star Wars Episode 9, and it would be the absolute best way to tie all 9 movies together in one and to insert prequel trilogy continuity. Also, the whole entire Force Ghost concept of Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and maybe even Qui-Gon Jinn if they really wanted to go that far, by giving Liam Neeson a call and having him play a part in Episode 9. Now, I don't know about you guys, but how do you feel about the possibility of George Lucas lending a hand for Star Wars Episode 9, offering some advice to J.J. Abrams, giving him some different ideas, some things on what needs to be corrected in Episode 9, very much like how he did with Solo: A Star Wars Story? Like I said, if this actually does come into fruition, I'm not quite sure how significant George Lucas's ideas really will be, but let me know what you think about George Lucas and his involvement in Episode 9 in any way, shape, or form. How do you feel about this? Because to me, this is very, very exciting. We've been hearing a lot of different rumors and a lot of talk out there that he actually seeked out the, Belfast area for the Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars movie, all thanks to the Belfast Telegraph for reporting that a couple of months ago. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what's to come with George Lucas and his involvement in future Star Wars movies. After all, Episode 9, it's a huge task, a very important task, and I'm sure that JJ feels a lot of pressure and stress from all of this, and maybe, perhaps, JJ is the one who actually seeked out George to actually, offer some advice. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.